because of this one purpose. And I don't want to spoil so much. I don't want to spoil so much, but there's so much originality. It's an original script. Simwa actually is the one who wrote it. And it also has original music. So for example, Ricky has written some of the songs that are performed on the show. Everything is absolutely original.
He's a great singer.
Yes, absolutely. It's actually incredible to just be on stage with him and actually hear him live. Every time I'm just like, hey, wow. See, auto-tune.
Speaking of music, I think Koljax is going to be playing just a little bit. We'll get back right in a few minutes. I'm informed there's a bit of a technical issue, so let's just fix that and we'll get back to it. All right?
Sure.
Okay.
It's gotta be DJ Koljax.
Hottest in the game.
Did you? Mulipana. Come
Everybody scatter. Can't sit down, catch fire. Boy, sit down, start in my
Ricky_is Sunny.
I feel to run away, but I won't go stop there. Too many bad men and not enough friends. Like say, we don't wanna lose my conscience. I just wanna dance under the sunset. Make nobody stop my enjoyment.
Sorry about that, and such is the reality of live television. I'm sure they'll tell us more because they totally relate to what just happened, but we're all good to go now. Foy, if something like that ever happened, you know, you forget your lines, for instance, when you're on stage, what do you do? There's nothing like cut, there's nothing like that.
No, there's nothing, and that's the difference between theater and film. Like, it's live. When you mess up, you just go with the flow, you improvise. And that's why you do a lot of rehearsal, so that you know the story in and out, that if anything happened, you can be able to help each other and figure out a way out of that situation. You just have to go.
So teamwork is also very important.
Exactly. There's no stopping.
There's
no stopping.
It really isn't, because the crowd is just wondering, what is going on?
You can't be like, okay, so...
Even like 5 seconds of silence. It feels like an hour sometimes for the audience as well, and for you as well as actors. You know, Ricky, tell me more about your role in this particular production. Foy has mentioned that you've written a few songs. Tell us about the experience. Tell us what we can expect. I'm really excited.
So I got the chance to work with a music director whose name is Mel. And she kind of, I think we just kind of worked very well together. I actually didn't write a lot of songs. She worked on most of the songs. I just maybe worked on one. But I get to play a very beautiful character called Brian. Brian is a romantic. Brian is flamboyant. Brian is very passionate about the people he loves and the people who are around him. And his
Is Brian you? I feel like this role was written for you.
Well, actually, that's what I've been saying. I feel like the role was written just for me because I really fit perfectly into the whole beat. And I actually play for his character's boyfriend. And we basically just live in this life of like Foy said, we're a gang of a bunch of friends who get together and form a gang to just do things because we really need the money. But life tends to pull you in different directions, and so Brian gets to kind of explore a path away from whatever the gang is trying to pursue, which ends up being very dramatic. not to give out spoilers. If you want to know what I mean, come and watch the show. But it ends up being very, very dramatic, and yeah, lots of things go on. But yeah, that's kind of what I do.
You know, Simo, maybe you can tell us exactly when it's happening, where it's happening, and just give us more information on that.
All right. So, Kiri, the musical play, it's happening at Braeburn Theatre.
Okay.
That's the Braeburn on Gitanga Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've worked with Braeburn for a couple of years, and they're usually our host. It's taking place next weekend. That's on the 14th, from the Friday.
Lovely.
14th. 15th, 16th, and also the weekend after.
Oh, 6 shows.
They are total of 5. So
Okay.
the last Sunday we're saving it up, but yeah, total of 5 shows. So all evening shows. Yeah, this is basically.
How long is the show for?
The show is around 1 hour 45 minutes. So I would say 2 hours with the.
It's like a movie.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And instead of watching a movie on the weekend, why don't you go and watch some Kenyan content?
It's a whole different experience.
Right? Quite an experience. Now, Foi, tell me about your experience. You know, you've done TV, you've done films, you've also done, you know, now you're doing theater as well, and I'm sure you've done it in the past. So what does each bring to the table for you, and what do you like best? I know it'll be hard for you to choose, but tell me where it all started for you as an actor.
Well, I keep saying that theater is my first love.
Okay.
I've been on theater since like primary, high school as well. Even immediately after high school, that's the first thing I got into. Actually, this is not the first show I'm working with Queva on. And I think theater really challenges you as an actor. I always say, if you brilliant actor, do theater.
I was actually going to say that because I've seen, you know, the crop of actors that have emerged from being on theater, like in theater, and then going on to become, you know, actors in movies and shows and soaps online, as well as on TV. I just feel like you can tell
the difference,
the caliber, you know, the finesse.
Absolutely.
They're quite polished, and it's quite evident that if you start in theater, you're definitely going to be a notch.
I think
higher than the rest.
Theater pushes you to think on your feet, to be very smart in how you're doing things. It also gives you a chance to explore different things because you're rehearsing over a period of time. So how you might do one scene at the beginning of rehearsals on day one is completely different with how people will see it on stage, because you keep perfecting it. You keep finding different ways to show a different emotion. And it expands your range in a way that I don't think TV has the capability of. It's also very like you have one chance. You have one chance.
So you have to give it your best.
You don't have many shots, close up, wide shot, take 2, take 3, take 50. No, it's once. And if you can kill it that one time,
it's amazing. That's the beauty of it.
Yes.
Right? Ricky seems like he's really just like reflecting, and he's like, I love theater.
Yeah, theater is amazing.
I can see it on your face.
Yeah, I've been a very big fan of musicals. And actually, that's one of the reasons I started singing.
Okay.
And so anytime I get a chance to be in a musical, it's usually just like, yes, let's do this. It's dance, it's singing, it's acting. We're in the action. Everything is just happening.
So exciting.
Everything is just so exciting. And when I got to work with Queva, Queva is one of the brilliant production companies that exist out here in the country, because I believe, from my personal experience, they find ways of presenting theater in very unique and different and creating a spectacle on stage. And just being part, this is my first time working with them, and being part of this show has been very fulfilling for me, because that's what we have been trying to achieve, and that's what we've been doing. So yeah, it's just a beautiful experience all around.
Amazing. I love how you talk about it, so passionate. It just makes me want to like leave everything and go to Braeburn.
Exactly.
Right now. That's the idea, right?
Exactly.
Simwa, you know, I feel like for somebody who is the director, and of course, you know, as somebody who directs others and like is kind of telling people what to do and, you know, what not to do in this maybe a month, I guess. I don't know how long rehearsals go on for. Maybe you can give us more information on that as well. But like apart from that, maybe you can also tell us about how the process is, you know, the journey. How do you start auditions, and then of course, you know, coming up with like trying to finesse the actors, trying to get them to get their lines right. Maybe take us through the whole process and the journey of from the day you begin to the final day on stage.
It's a long journey. It's a long, stressful journey.
Yeah.
Because the first stage is usually you get the script.
Yes.
So there's what's on paper and there's what people say. Sometimes it does not translate because what you say in your head is not exactly what somebody might be saying organically. So that's what we try and do. We try and make things authentic.
Yes.
So once we get the script, we do our auditions. In auditions, we try to look at somebody who is willing to learn.
Okay.
Because for us, Quiver, we try to also teach. Because these young professionals in the field and etc., there's something we have that we can offer, and there's an experience they can learn from the whole process. Okay. So we try and teach. So we look for individuals who are able to learn, and on top of that, individuals who are receptive to try out new things, because that's also what we want to do. And then once we narrow down on the actors and the singers and the dancers and everything, now we start with the read-through. This is where we hand the script to them and they judge us based on the script. So they go through the script and they will give you feedback on whether this is something they want to do, what edits can be made, etc. And then once they're comfortable in the characters, now we start the acting. Now this is usually the most interesting process because as a director you have an idea in your head of how things are supposed to play out. But then you're dealing with individuals who also have a whole array of emotions, experiences that they come with. So as Quiver, we try and utilize that. We don't ask you to become someone else. No, we ask you, if you were put in this situation, how would you react? How would you act? If somebody came on stage and that's your wife or this and this happened, how would you respond to that? So that's what we try and do. We try and build the characters based on the actors that we have. That way, when it comes to show day, they're not trying to be someone else. They're just themselves. And that way it becomes a very enjoyable experience for them. It's lovely to watch, but in the back of my mind, I just look at the struggle of everything reaching to that point, because
it's a long journey.
Exactly. As actors, sometimes it's difficult for some actors to be themselves. It's amazing how they're used to acting so much. When you ask them, just be yourself,
they don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do. When somebody say, act cool, or act normal, they're like, what does that mean?
What is normal? What is normal? What are you saying?
That is the question we try and answer with our scripts.
Amazing. Very, very nicely put. Foy, tell us about, the long hours of rehearsal that goes on, before you actually get on stage and before D-Day. We were having this conversation at an event, and I was just telling Foy about how I actually got an opportunity, and a director told me, maybe come and audition for this next show that we're doing. It was a play as well, and we think you'd fit the role pretty well. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I was like, fine. And then I was like, just send me the schedule. And I was like, what? I'm required to actually be rehearsing 4 hours every day. And Foy is like, that's very normal. That's okay.
Standard.
That's standard. It's nothing big.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum. Tell me more about what actually goes on behind the scenes and how intense it is. How many hours that you put in as the director, as actors, and the cast and the crew. Basically, just tell us about how difficult it is and how much effort goes into plays.
Yeah. So when did we start rehearsals? Feb? End of Feb, around end of Feb.
Okay.
So we started rehearsals, and basically we meet every weekend, Saturday. We even had rehearsals today, a holiday. Yes.
So you just came from rehearsals and then you've come here. Hardworking individuals.
Yeah. So we have rehearsals basically the whole day, like from morning to about 6-7 p.m. Every weekend, and then we also meet a couple of hours during the week, maybe 3 hours, like twice in a week, for that period of time. So a month and a half or so. Yeah. So we meet every weekend and maybe 2 days in a week, just basically putting those hours in, because as I said, it's theater. You need to be very prepared, because on show day so many things happen. You'll see your friend over there in the audience and you forget your line.
So scream your name and you get so distracted.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're already so in touch with the character and with the story, it does not matter what happens, you'll be able to get back into it. And so I feel like, yes, you have to put in those hours. It's essential. Yeah.
I can imagine. I'm just thinking about those hours and I'm like, can never be me, but it's okay. One day we'll make it happen. Mr. Director is here. We'll be in touch. Now, you know, Ricky, tell me more about your journey as you're also a singer, quite a fantastic one, and then you're also into acting. And, you know, there's this stereotype that everybody just says, we've heard it everywhere, that to be an actor, you can't really just be an actor because it's not sustainable. You know, you need to be able to like pay your bills, and sometimes the jobs are not there. So in your experience, how has that been for you? Have you solely managed to cover your costs and of course just be able to pay your bills and rent and just through acting, or was singing something that you're doing just because it's not been sustainable for you, so you need to do a bit of both?
I think for me it's been more of a personal experience, because I personally consider myself a performing artist.
I love
so
that.
I don't say I'm a singer, I'm an actor. No, I'm a performer. You put me on a stage, you tell me to do this, and I'll do that. So that's basically whatever I do is just to kind of sort out that itch that I usually have, because I need to be on a stage and I need to express myself.
Because that's where you thrive.
Because that's where I thrive. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. And I think the experience is different to each and every individual. Foye is a full-time actor. Oh, she's an influencer also. I know that Simwa is a director. Simwa is also a doctor.
What? Daktari.
Our director is a daktari.
Wait, what kind of doctor? MBBS?
Yes. MBCHB, but it's MBBS.
Let's talk about this later. I'm so intrigued.
I believe experiences are different with each and every single person, and so we just do whatever we need to do to just get where we need to be, fulfill whatever dreams we have, and take ourselves to places that we've always wanted to be.
You know, I love that I call ourselves creatives.
Creatives, exactly.
So I just love how passionate we are, because the way you spoke, again, so much passion. Is the passion juice your favorite? Sorry, that was a really bad joke, but moving on. I'm just fantastic with it. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Right, so I just love that he is so passionate about, you know, the things that you dream of. Like as a young teenager, or, you know, growing up, you always have these dreams and aspirations of who exactly you want to be. When you were younger, did you want to be an actor and a singer?
I did. I always wanted to perform. I didn't know like a career in the performing arts was possible, because we tend to grow in societies that tell us
doctor, engineer,
exactly,
engineer, lawyer.
And so, but as you mature and you get to explore all these gifts you have and all these talents, and you get into spaces that are like, you've got this. It's like, okay, so I can actually do this.
Imagine.
I can actually do this, and here I am doing it. So hey,
and doing it really well.
Exactly. Exactly.
Tell us now. You know, just in line with this conversation that we're having right now, you're a whole doctor.
Yes.
How does it work? Like, do you have a 9 to 5 and then you go into directing and creating?
I'm in theater and then I'm in theater.
That's what he does best, being in theater. Okay.
So I've always had a passion for the performing arts since I was a kid. The thing is, I also had an experience where I was at a hospital for an extended period of time.
Right.
So I grew a passion also for medicine, and I was like, I only have one lifetime, so I'll rather just do everything.
Do whatever I want. A little bit of everything.
I think one of the proverbs that was redefined to me was the whole idea of a jack of all trades but a master of none. We used to think about it as being a jack of all trades a bad thing, but if you actually look at the origin of the proverb, they tell you need to be a jack of all trades, because to be honest, being in theater, doing theater production, working with young people, creative minds, has really settled me in medicine. Because and I would even say the finest doctors, they have a very big, wide life outside medicine, and that's something which I've come to experience myself, and it's something I like to preach to people. Just because I'm a doctor doesn't mean I'm always on my books.
Right.
And, I'm doing that a lot, that's for sure. But when I get to rehearsals, I get to switch off and I get to tune into something completely
Amazing.
different. Yeah.
So if there's somebody in Kenya who'd actually be able to make a Kenyan version of Dr. House or Grey's Anatomy, it would be him. Right? If that's not already, you know, in something that you're planning for in the future, please, we need to see it happen. Right, Foy? Yeah. Foy, tell us about your journey in the industry. Did you always want to be an actor growing up? What did you study? Did you do journalism?
Yes.
I don't know. I always saw you as somebody who would do journalism, but actually do really well.
Yeah.
Tell us more about growing up and your aspirations, and then how that led you to doing journalism, and then now becoming an actor.
Okay, so when I was younger, I've always been an A student, yeah?
I can tell.
So,
just looking at her, and I'm like, smart girl.
But I was also very passionate about acting. I was in drama club for the whole of my life, literally primary and high school. So I was in all clubs, but I was also good in school. So you know that narrative of you have to be a doctor, da 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 da. I first started with law school.
Wow.
I did a semester of law school, and I was like, hey,
this one.
Because I wanted something where I can use my voice. And I was like, you know what, maybe this is the closest to something like that.
Yeah.
I can go to court and use my voice in some way. And then I went in, but even after high school, even as I'm doing law school, I was still acting. It's the one thing that stayed consistent in my life, yeah? I've done radio, I've done TV hosting, I've done all of it. And it's still things I would want to do, but acting is the one thing that has always been there, regardless of the phase of my life I'm in, regardless of what I'm doing, it does not matter. Acting is there in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, and I feel like that's what makes me know that this is something that I'm supposed to be doing. I genuinely enjoy it, even when it's hard, even when I have to wake up at 5 a.m.
It's okay
to go on set. I'm actually I'm just grumpy, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go and do it. And I feel like even in my journey from when I went and after I left law school, I went and started doing journalism, and then I still love it. It's still something that I like, and I feel like there's not one purpose, and there's not only one thing that I should be doing. I feel like I'm capable, as he said, of doing
a lot more.
Yeah. All of it.
Whatever you want.
Tomorrow I could be a dancer like you. And
okay, come join me. Let's do it. I know she has some moves I've seen. I've always been watching.
Come watch the show. Come watch the show.
I've been watching.
There's a bit of dancing on the show.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Exciting.
It's a musical. Everyone is
singing,
doing everything.
dancing, everything.
Yeah.
I love it, and this is why, if you haven't ever watched a play, this is your chance to go and get blown away by the talents that we have in Kenya. It's just phenomenal. So they've said we've got next week, right, at Braben, and then the week after as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. As we wrap up, I just want you three to just pitch the show and tell Kenyans why they need to come and watch it. We'll start with you.
I think throughout us preparing for this show, one thing that I've realized is that a lot of Kenyans haven't gotten to experience musicals.
100%.
Yeah, anytime us guys on social media and trying to push the show on social media, we'll see people commenting and be like, oh my God, I've never seen a musical. What is a musical? And so if there's anyone out there who's ever sat down and enjoyed a Disney movie or enjoyed Glee fans. I was personally a Glee fan. Hey, Glee fans. So, if you've just sat down and you've been a very big fan of musicals, this is your chance to come and actually catch a Kenyan musical, an original Kenyan musical about a Kenyan story with music written by Kenyans, with story told by Kenyans, everything that is so rooted into our culture in our country. So yeah, come through to Braban, Kiri the musical, music, dance, acting, a whole band, by the way. There'll be a whole band.
A whole
There'll
band?
be live music. Everything will be going down at Braban Theatre. Come through for
I'm
Kiri
sold.
the musical.
I'm sold. Foy.
One thing I can say is that there's a bit of everything for everyone. As you said, there's for lovers of music, you're gonna really enjoy the music. For lovers of good stories, you're gonna enjoy the stories. There's literally something for everyone. And I think even as an actor in the show, there's some things that you realize even as you're going about in rehearsals, like little lessons, little reminders of even what we go through in a society. You know, people are really do things because of the positions they're put in. And that's basically the foundation of the story. These people are good people, but they've been put in certain situations. And I think it's a story for most of us. A lot of Kenyans go through that, and I think people will relate to the story. So please come through, come watch us.
What about you, Simo?
If you want to laugh, come for the show. If you want to experience an array of emotions, you will be sad at some point, you will be happy, but you'll be glad you came for the show. It's going to be entertaining, it's going to be epic, an experience that I think most Kenyans have never had before. So that's what Kiri the musical is. It's just a brilliant show.
Okay, thank you so much for coming right here on Easy Friday. My hot seat is happy. You've made it hotter.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure just, you know, learning more about theatre, which I think is something that sometimes as Kenyans we just get so engrossed in watching movies. They're not even ours, by the way. We, you know, that on Netflix but now I'm seeing there is just an influx of Kenyan content, and it's just so refreshing and uplifting, and it's just nice to see that we've got so much talent, and the talent is actually getting a platform. So this is another thing that I think we need to be really encouraging, which is theatre, and it's happening next week and the week after, Braben, Gitanga Road. You know, you can follow them on social media to get more information. Foy Wamboy, that's the easiest handle I can think of right now, and she's definitely going to be posting more about, you know, how much the tickets are and where you can get the tickets as well. So please do support our Kenyan talents, because I really think that for the Kenyan industry to grow, we need you to come and watch. Be a demand. We need you to be able to support the talent so that they can even thrive more and just be able to keep entertaining you. That's all we need. You know, it's a circle. That's how it works. You help them, they help us. Okay, and with that, it's time for me to say goodbye to you. I'll catch up with you next week, same time, same place. It's been an absolute pleasure keeping you company and entertaining you right here on Easy Friday. But don't go too far, because the entertainment continues. We've got an Easter movie that's coming up next, so make sure you stay right here and keep watching KBC Channel 1. Bye-bye.